Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Body.
Hello.
Today, we're going to talk about how we wake up fat one day. Or I don't know if should we say fat? I feel like, is that a derogatory word? I don't want people to get offended, but that's how we would talk to ourselves, right?
Of course, you're gonna look at us, you're gonna say like, no, there's no way you both be fat, but it's the way that you feel, like extra weight, right? How we wake up and we don't recognize ourselves.
Yes. And maybe I'm not what we would classify as fat now, but I've definitely woken up fat before. I don't mean just in my head, but it's in relation to what we're going to talk about today. Like I've been there. I have been in the shoes and have ended up with this version of myself that I was like, oh my God, who is that?
Who's the bitch?
Yeah. I actually, probably twice in my life, I've done that. So if you're wondering what we mean, you probably have been there yourself, perhaps if you are a woman watching this podcast and if you've dieted before, or even if you haven't, if you've just been on your journey and all of a sudden one day you are feeling good in your body, you're feeling thin, you're feeling confident, your clothes fit well. And then what seems like this, you wake up and you are fat.
In other words, it's how you let yourself go so far to the point that you one day wake up and don't recognize who you are. How that happened, how fast it was. Because the point is, we are doing good, we are looking good, and we start, okay, I'm gonna eat this extra sweetness today, or tomorrow I'm gonna have a pizza. And we kinda still looking good because of course your body gonna take a while to get the inflamed to the point that you're gonna feel uncomfortable. And I think we just like lose control and we keep pushing and we keep going. And most of the time is the time that you are not like taking the closer look to yourself, or because you are too busy, or here because it's winter. So easy to be like on the swim pants, the jackets, and don't like see yourself so well. And boom, one day you realize that everything that you did came together and feels that they came at once.
Yeah.
You wake up fat.
Yeah. And I think that if this has happened to you, you can probably think back to all of the little things that probably added up to where you are.
And it's hard because back the days that you felt so good, but now you start to regret everything that you did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why I did that? And I think at least for me and for everybody who are talk about it, you start to look your old pictures and see the videos. You go to the cycle to blame yourself and be upset and be sad. And I think because we know how hard it is to get back where you were, it's a kind of depression between you wake up fat and you back to your routine, the one that you need to have to look the way that you looked before.
And getting back to your pre-fat self, getting back to that routine, I think that's why a lot of people, when they gain weight, they stay there, because the process of getting back to that point or losing the weight or rebuilding those habits and doing all of the work is so daunting. Like it's so much, and it's hard, and it's disciplined, and it's like time intensive. It takes so much time.
Yeah.
It's so not fair, by the way, that God, the universe created us this way. So easy to gain weight and so hard to lose it.
I always say that back on track is way harder than start a project. And I think it's what I would give you, like, don't try to back where you were. Try to create a new project and focus on that. The new you, back where you were, but better. So fix things that wasn't work for yourself and try to restart, and like it's from here there. So that means stop to look old pictures. They're not gonna bring you back faster.
Although we just did look at some of your old pictures today for inspiration.
I know.
Because sometimes it's nice to just see what was,
Yeah,
and use it as a goal, maybe. Not that you'll get exactly back there, but as like an inspiration of what your potential is.
One thing is to look like we did today. Yes, definitely. Other thing is how I was before, obsessed,
Yeah.
looking to the picture every day, eating this something sweet because like no, tomorrow
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Tomorrow
start
is the
again.
day. So let me eat everything I can today because tomorrow is the day I'm going to start the diet.
Yeah, so the point is, one thing that everybody who start diet, workout, or anything, any project, any journey, remember, you just gonna look good if you keep doing. Because if you stop to do your cardio and start to eat more or make like change without your body be prepared for it, because one thing you are on the losing weight process and then you're gonna make change when you get your goal. Yes, of course. Maintain is different than the weight loss process, than the gain weight process. But other thing is, okay, I look great. So now I'm gonna have in and out every day after workout because I look great. And your body may gonna take for a while good, but then it's gonna be an extra gonna become fat because you're gonna start, okay, in and out and now like some ice cream.
I think it's such a good point. And I want to touch on the first time that I woke up fat. Because I had two experiences. Probably somebody can relate. But the first time was just right about as I was graduating college. I was not a lot of responsibility. I was waiting tables. I was looking for my career. So like sort of job hunting. So I had a lot of extra time to like party and hang out and like sleep in and do all of this stuff. And I was like physically fit. I was thin, as a lot of us are in our early 20s, you're very active. So I thought it was no problem. Like, oh, a little bit here, I'm going to eat out, a little bit there, I'm drinking a little bit of extra, a little bit here, I'm sleeping in because I don't have to be up for class or, be up for work or whatever. And it just became this cycle of like eating out a lot, drinking a lot, and not moving my body as often, not having the responsibilities that I had. And all of a sudden I woke up so large. I'll never forget the moment I realized is that this guy that I was like sort of dating and seeing when I was thinner said to me, I can't remember the exact quote, but he's like, I think I was wearing a crop top and he made a comment about it because I had a little bit of a belly. Like I shouldn't have been wearing a crop top with this new body of mine. And that was the moment I realized like, oh my God, I'm fat. And it's so funny, right? Like, but it just occurred to me at that moment as I reflected on his comment and looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, what happened to me? This isn't in my mind. I'm still that person. And I was so young, right? So I'm still that like thin person, but in reality, like, no, all of these habits and behaviors that I've accumulated during this like time period made me fat. It was so crazy. And the second time was my now husband and I moved to St. Louis. So I'm born and raised in Southern California. I've never lived anywhere else. So we moved to St. Louis and I realized that it was a climate that was either very hot and humid in the summer or very cold and snowy and rainy in the wintertime. So there was not a lot of time to be outdoors. Everything was indoors, everything. And so I came from like San Diego. Again, now this what I regained my composure, my normal body. And I was like thin. I was running a bunch of marathons, working out. And I moved to St. Louis where the climate was like, I don't want to be outside. I don't want to do anything. And then of course, like you had said, it was cold. So I was wearing bigger clothes and jackets and whatever, like things to hide. And I gained so much weight because it's just my lifestyle and my habits changed so much that my body changed with it. And I still lived in St. Louis when we got married. I came back to San Diego and got married and then moved back to San Diego like 6 months after. But I still look at my wedding picture and I'm like, I was still overweight version of myself, which is, it's fine. It's like, I don't really dwell on it, but it's just like, those are the two moments where I'm like, okay, that I woke up fat, not realizing that all of these things that I was doing were contributing to but looking back, when I came to realize that, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. You're eating more, you're drinking more, and you're not moving your body as much. And that's what happens, you know? And again, like you start out with like a little snack and then you give yourself permission to have that little snack. And then you're like, oh, everything's still fitting. Everything looks the same. You have another little snack, check, another little snack, another little snack. And the sooner you know it, you're having more snacks and checking less.
Yes.
And it's like that
is the problem. I think we know, so we start to check less because we know and we don't want to give it up.
Well, yes, we give ourselves like this permission
Yeah.
to just be okay with the way that our bodies are transitioning for whatever reason. You know, everybody has their own reason, but we give ourselves permission to continue and then, you know, subconsciously or consciously in our heads and stop checking.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've been there many times. I'm gonna I'm gonna say when I moved here was boom. I think I put like 20 pounds of fat. I was very fit and more muscular when I live in Brazil. And that was one of the time. But even before, I lose and gain weight too fast. So if I eat right in 1 week, you'll say like, oh my gosh. If I eat bad in 1 weekend, it's like, God, you know, the way that my body works. But that definitely was a very hard because I did change my body composition and I burned my muscle and I hold a lot of fat. And another one, and that was the last one, and I think was the one that had the most impact in my life because it was never happened after. It was 2022, my birthday. And the girls had make a surprise party for myself. But Patty and staff was telling me that we're gonna go for a dinner. And it was like in a nice place that I need to dress up and nothing fit on me. All my clothes. February, right? Super cold. I was like, I'm gonna say 5-6 pounds heavier than I am right now. But right now I have more muscle. And back there, I wasn't workout. I was work like 12 hours at the gym, 6 to 6. I think it was when I started to like slow down a little bit and do less sessions a day. But my entire body was injurious, always sore, mentally exhausted. And when I see myself, was my 37th birthday, and I felt so ugly, so like no me. And it's not that everybody has the right to feel good in your way.
Yeah, meaning not everybody has to be slim and like
Yeah.
skinny or whatever, any body type to feel good. Like everybody's different. Everybody's body type is different.
Exactly. But I just didn't feel myself. And it's funny because it's like that time when I was trying the clothes is when I wake up fat. Is when I see like, oh my God, okay. So now I have no clothes to go. It's my birthday. I don't feel happy because I don't feel my best. But that's okay because today I made a promise to myself that never gonna happen again. And after that day, I changed my diet. That was the first thing that I could do. And then I started to open time to work out myself. And now myself is my priority again. But it took me a while to, back on track, first mentally and then physically. Now I feel good. We always gonna have 5 pounds to lose as a woman.
I know. We're never satisfied. But I feel like when you get to that point where you wake up fat, you have this realization and then you actively put a plan together to reverse that, to get back to the body that you're happy and comfortable in. Like once you're there, like you're so much more mentally strong. Like you're just so much more self-aware. You are so much more understanding of the impact of not moving your body and the food that you put in your mouth has.
Because you're hitting the bottom. So to say no for a bread, in my opinion, is way easier to look to the middle and don't like what I see. For other people, it's different. And that's okay. But for myself, I choose my heart. And my heart, I prefer to not eat what I want often because I still have fun with food. A lot, actually, more than I should. But the thing is to find the way that you are happy in your lifestyle and you're happy with your image. And we always bring that because sometimes you even feel like, oh, I need to accept my body or this philosophy. You do if that has a condition that make you, like you don't have one leg, you need to accept your body.
Yeah.
You don't have one arm, you have like some disease that you cannot lose weight, but because you lazy or because you want to like eat
whatever
more,
you want.
you need like, welcome to adult life. We do what we need.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And Adnan, my husband, and I were talking about, like, I think he's the one who said most women who are overweight are not happy with their bodies. He said they're not comfortable with themselves. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's a dude, so what does he know? But he's coming from a perspective where he is mother and sister and like, family that's overweight. But
And they see us. I mean, even he's a man, I think he can see us better because we identify in each other,
yeah,
And no, they don't because they don't have the problem. They are not checking most. Our husbands, they are not checking themselves to see, my belly is bigger, smaller, my butt, at the gym, but not here.
You're not. I have to check in for him. I'm like, your belly there's more there than.
So I think he can see how sometimes a woman feel uncomfortable, because body language, guys, ladies, body language.
And your energy, like
You
the
can
vibe.
tell me with your words that you accept yourself with 20 pounds heavier than your healthy weight. I'm not even talking about body shape wise, but your body language is telling me that you are uncomfortable because when you sit, you're showing cellulite or your belly or your arms, or you are trying to put like cover your full body because it's hot outside, but you don't feel. And I feel you. I was there. I've been there.
We've all been there. Most of us have been there.
But I do want to be this woman who love myself. So I'm very honest with me and with you all. I'm always open to talk about it. So I know what is my mistakes, and every day I work to get better.
I think also that for women who are not comfortable with their bodies, like I think the times that I've gained weight, it's been a lot for what like, let's say 20 pounds. Okay. Let's say I've gained 20 pounds. Like that's a lot for my body.
It's a lot.
And in shape. And for anybody really, if anybody loses 20 pounds, it's a big difference on their body.
Yes.
But more than just the weight, let's just say, you're happy with your body and you love it and all that stuff. I do feel like there's this certain mental dissatisfaction that you have, not necessarily like with the aesthetic of the way you look, but maybe with the way you're able to control your relationship with food or control what you eat or the way that you make excuses for doing or not doing something, the way that you opt out of working out or moving your body, like I just feel like there are these components that come along with the aesthetically like, slim, athletic, muscular body or whatever you want to say, whatever that your ideal body type is. There is a certain aesthetic that comes with that is disciplined, that does do the hard things, that does make, one good decision after another consistently, that I feel like sometimes that's what you compare yourself to. And you're like, damn it, like disappointed in yourself that you haven't done that you're not doing that you maybe cannot do that. And I think that's a lot of where it comes from too. But the good thing is like, everything is in your control. And I love that you said like some people accept their bodies, accept that's how it's going to be. This is our pet peeve. We talk about it all the time. As a 43-year-old woman, as a 39-year-old woman, that is such bullshit. This is not the best I'm going to look in my life.
Oh
I
my
will
gosh.
look better tomorrow or better next year.
I don't even wake up if I think my entire life is going to be the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to look exactly like that, or that here from now I'm going to start to look terrible, gain weight, feel old. It's not about it. It's not. It is on your control. That's okay also if you like to be like a plus size, have more curves. It's beautiful. I see some beautiful
God, give me some curves. Please, God, give me some curves.
Beautiful
Yes.
woman health, woman health, curving. It's beautiful. But just accept what you want to. Your body is your house, is the place that you're gonna live for the rest of your life. So today we are bringing this, like, I wake up fat, exactly to say what to do. A, watch yourself.
Be honest with yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. When you have a plan in place, let's say, whether it's written or with a coach or in your mind or just knowing yourself, you know what to eat, what's going to be healthy, what's on your menu for the day, but you tend to eat some cookies here or some candy here. And especially if you work in an office, I feel like that's the worst. Like, always have food around.
And sometimes you feel like you need to accept the food because your coworker brought, and you feel so bad because was his wife who made it, or was herself who made it and is special. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna save for later and give it to someone else.
100%. That is so key.
Like, be smart and be aware. The thing is, you want to get back on track, you need to be a little bit more hard on yourself, and you can breathe again. That is the best way to get there. I'm not going to say cut your carbs, don't eat, live miserable, and you get there. But if you don't take actions, you're going to wake up every day fatter and fatter, and you're never going to get back where you feel yourself. And also, watch yourself to not get there. It's what I'm doing now. Every time that I feel like, okay, like this weekend, I had a lot, sweetness. Oh, I love it. So what I'm doing now this week, drink a lot of water, making sure that I'm not going to have one piece of bread extra than I should. That doesn't mean I'm gonna cut my carbs, but I'm gonna try to eat like more volume of food. That means like potato, real food, and less bread, tortilla, and this and that. That, yeah, I can fit on my day, but not today or tomorrow or for the next 3-4 days. That my body has these extra carbs that I do need to release before they become fat. And that is the thing, control. Have a jeans. So every time that you feel like, okay, once a week, go check. When you're having more fun, when you feel like Andrea is on the process that she is rebuilding herself after 3 years competing like no stop. That is when she needs to watch out herself like more closely, because it's so easy to one day wake up fat because you're eating different foods, and even she like running, working out, getting her macros. She knows better. If she let go, it's so easy to lose control. And once you lose control and boom, you wake up fat. If you're fat, my dear, it's not water anymore. It's a fat. It's gonna take longer. You're gonna need like to be very consistent. Don't try to starve yourself. You're gonna start to burn your muscle and storage more and more fat. So the point is, you have two ways here. First, and it's smarter. Don't let yourself get fat. Be consistent. Understand the process, and remember, if I eat something out of my normal routine because it's not diet, needs to be a lifestyle, I'm gonna give it 3-4 days to myself to release the food. And then I can have something different. And the second, if you are already there, boom, you already wake up fat, have a plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan and work hard. Remember the feeling. Every time that I like wanna go over, I remember the feeling putting my clothes. And the cutest clothes is the smallest. I'm sorry, that is the truth. That's so cute little thing, and they were not fit. I was like, gosh, I'm gonna lose all my clothes. Find a way that you feel like, inspired and motivated. Even what gonna make you do is your discipline. Just have a plan and do it.
Yeah. And stop giving yourself permission to have all these little indulgences, because again, I think where most people tend to lose the control is in these little extras, or like eating out too much and like, okay, like I'll meet you for dinner or I'll grab some fast food on the way home. Just that lack of planning and that like quick easy access, or just like snacking on things. Like stop giving yourself permission to have that, because while nobody likes restriction in a diet, the truth of the matter is that first of all, a lot of these foods are probably not healthy with you. So you're not doing yourself any favors. They're just appeasing like that chemical reaction of your brain. And secondly, like it just is cause and effect. If you eat all this shit, you're going to gain weight unless you work out really hard, to burn those calories. But even then, it just doesn't match up. Like it's never like the perfect scenario. So stop giving yourself permission, because as much as you think those like little things here and there are just little things, like a handful of potato chips or whatever, throughout the day, all that little stuff adds up to a lot of stuff. Just on the flip side, like every action you take to move your body and eat nutritiously and eat a well-balanced diet, all of those little steps add up. It's just like one decision after another that accumulates either to you being overweight or to you being in your ideal body shape.
I agree. I hope that can help you guys to understand if you are going through the process. If you wake up fat today, that's okay. We always been there. Just make sure you're going to take action and make a plan for yourself with a coach or by yourself. Just do something now. Don't let like they get bigger, because every day that you let yourself go, you go far and it's hard to come back. And yeah.
And one thing just off of that, if you just woke up fat recently, do not buy new clothes. Do not buy the next size up. Because if you just woke up fat, chances are you can reverse course pretty quickly, meaning you tighten up your diet a little bit, you move your body, get 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, like actively make these little adjustments to your schedule every day or to your eating habits every day, and you could reverse that pretty quickly. Your body doesn't want to be overweight. It wants to work optimally and be at your optimal weight. That's different for everybody. Yeah. So don't starve yourself, like you said, because that can fuck with your metabolism. Plus you'll lose muscle, lose nutrients, all kinds of things. Just start making one good decision after another. And I know that is like so much easier said than done. It's not. Our minds are so powerful. And sometimes it's almost like a different person telling me to eat something, Yeah. Like you have to be really, really strong. It's not unique to you.
I do have this other personality.
Yeah. I mean, you do, because we've talked about it, and I do too. And it comes to like, I do too, right? Like we all do. Nobody's unique. We're all built the same.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe. It's so true. And it's sad, but this is the thing. We have your back, like if this is you, like don't despair. It's in your control. Just make one good decision after another. And that's literally the best thing you can do for yourself.
And one day you wake up fit again. So just keep going.
And know that you did it, and have that like mental fortitude. Just know like, I am badass because I control this body and I control my life. And that's just a really good position to be in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, thank you for joining our TED Talk today about waking up fat. No, I'm just kidding. But thanks for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to tune in to our next episode of
share.
Thank you. Yes. Share this episode. We'd love for you to help us get the word out. But as always, thank you for your support. And we will talk to you next time on Behind the Body.
Bye.
Bye.